Rangers, that's it. Just woo! Because if y'all were like, oh, the Rangers, I'd be like, ah! The Red Sox! Come on, people! So, I'm very glad to be here in Boston with all of you. So there are a few things that I've been in. I don't know if you know or not, but I'm kind of a big deal. Not really. So, let's see, we'll start at the beginning. At the beginning there was School Rumble. I was Akira in School Rumble. Short hair, dark, very, very low girl. Let's see what else. I've also been in Negama. I was Chao and Matsu in a good way. What else? Claymore. Flora and Sophia. I've also been in this little show called Soul. I was this girl that all she ever did was say chee 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 chee. And then another show. Let's see, Strike Witches. No? That's cool. That's cool. You don't have to love me. You just have to adore me. So Strike Witches, I was wow, this mic is loud. I feel like I should be like, I don't know, something. I'm not a big sitter. I hate sitting. I love like kicking it. What's up, purple shirt? Anyways, so what else? I like to lean back. Lean back really solid, right? Oh, look at you! You have one. Strike Witches. We're right here, brother. And then there's something else. I don't have my contact in. I just got new contacts. I recently found out I was blind. Oh, Kenichi, my disciple. And Sugar. You're my favorite. What else? Let's see. Bonfon, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And then there's also My Bride is a Mermaid. There's also O Eda Rocket, El Castro de la Bruja, J.O.C. I have over 50 titles at this point, and I frequently forget. So if y'all know something you like, that's cool. And then there's something big, something that just came out. Evangelion 2.22. Right? I'm Mari. I'm the girl in pink. Look at you! You have it! Already ready already. Look at you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
I'm sorry?
I appreciate you.
I have no idea what you're saying. Hang on. Stand by, people. I'm just going to scoot by you like airplane. Oh, sorry. Okay, what?
I'm just saying how much I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So, here are the following procedures. A, I can continue to babble because I'm a very good babbler. B, y'all can ask me questions and I'll just answer, and I'll sit up there if you would prefer. And C, we can all have a dance break later. In fact, I insist that we have a dance break at the end of this. So if you're not down for the dance break and standing up and dancing and letting your freak flag fly, then you might as well go now. I love all of you. Everyone can dance. Everyone can. It's so easy. Dancing is like, in my personal opinion, dancing is like just standing up and wiggling around to the music and just calling it your own, you know? Like, dancing isn't really anything. Like, all that, like, Britney Spears choreographed stuff, like, that's not dancing. Dancing is being able to go somewhere, like an anime convention, and being yourself, and just wearing whatever you want, and being whomever you want, and owning it. And that is dancing. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So there will be a dance break at some point during this panel. However, at this point, I will open it up, and if y'all have questions, then you can ask me questions. They don't necessarily have to be about anime, or about me, or about you. Like, we can talk politics, we can talk just about anything you want. All you have to do is raise your hand and I'll come to you with said microphone. Oh, I have a question with a hat. It's a great hat. I will hug you.
First of all, Johnny likes word singing.
That's from El Pastor and Miguel Bruja. That was my tag, right? It was Johnny likes word singing.
And I want to know how annoying it was to get taco song of every episode.
Oh my gosh. So also in El Pastor and Miguel Bruja, there was this song, the taco song, and it was like, taco, taco, taco. I'm sorry, my voice is all messed up right now, but normally I'm fantastic at it. I'm getting over a cold. Anyway, no, it wasn't that annoying. Like, I love having songs that I can sing. Because normally, like, you go to conventions and people are like, oh, sing that one song. And I'm like, which one? But now I actually have 2 solid songs that I can sing. I can sing the taco song, or I can sing the Ava song. It's whichever. You know, I'm kind of good. Kind of talented. It's not really a big deal, but I'm working on it. So, questions? What's up, Mama?
Do you have any suggestions for someone trying to become a voice actress like myself?
Yep. Raise your hand in this room if you want to be a voice actor. 1, 2, 3, 18, 20. Awesome. All right, so here's the deal, right? When I was 20 years old, I was in college and broke. Because that's your job in college. Your job in college is to be broke. And so I was 20 and I was broke and I was working like 3 jobs and I had an internship and I was taking like 18 hours. And I ended up at this bar with a friend of mine, and he was an engineer
Thanks for calling Rosetta Stone for your free language learning demo CD-ROM.
Yeah, what's the catch? Pandora. Free demo of your language software?
Stand by.
Oh, what's the catch?
No catch. We're so sure Rosetta Stone is the world's fastest,
Nobody
easiest way
gets
to
like
learn.
voicemails like that
We'll
anymore,
send
or
you
like,
a free demo.
what are they called?
Free demo CD-ROM.
Telemarketers, thank you. Like, when's the last time you got a telemarketer?
2 months ago.
2 months? Raise your hand if you've had a telemarketer call in the last 2 months. Really?
Last week.
Do y'all have cell phones?
Yes.
They call them cell phones now?
Yes. Click on them. On.
Anytime I see a number I don't recognize on my cell phone, I always pretend like I'm Spanish, and I'm like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, muy bien. I'm not very good at it. Anyways, so being a voice actor, right? So a friend of mine was a sound engineer at Funimation, and he was like, well, you've been acting your whole life, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, well, why don't you come in and audition, and we'll see if you get cast. And I was like, well, how much does it pay? And he ended up, I called, and by the hair of my teeth, got an audition, and luckily was cast. So, thank you. So I basically camped out at the Funimation Studios until they agreed to cast me more. And something. So that's how I got into voice acting. If you want to get into voice acting, unfortunately, now it's harder. Much harder now. We all kind of, I say we, there's like a group of us at Funimation, and like we're all very good friends and great people, amazing people, and we all kind of grew up together. Like we all started in our early 20s, and we were like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, whatever, we'll talk in the microphone, it'll be awesome. And we had no idea that it would end up in this phenomenon, and that people would really care about the work and the time and the heart that we put into our performance. And luckily, people like you took notice, you know? And that's, I'm not gonna, if Jamie Markey was here, she'd totally make fun of me for getting sappy, but I'm a sappy person. I have sensitive feelers. But, no, we all kind of grew up together. Like, in the beginning, we all made silly choices, did stuff that you do in your early 20s, and then grew up, and now everyone's married, and having babies, and doing all of the grown-up stuff, except for me. No. So, but if you want to be a voice actor now, my best advice, you have to go where the work is. You can't live somewhere where the work isn't. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm from Amarillo, Texas, represent 806 for life, but I couldn't live in Amarillo and do the work that I do now. So if you want to work in the voice acting industry, what's up, brah? Nice picture, I like that. Walking and you're like voguing right now. You're just like voguing with your wings. Like, are we voguing off? No, okay. If you want to be a voice actor, my best advice would probably be to get either acting experience from like an acting coach, a community theater, something like that. Then get some headshots, get an agent. Agents are key now. Like, you can't get in the doors of Funimation unless you have an agent, to be perfectly honest. Otherwise, you get put on this wait list for years. For real. So, if you do want to be a voice actor, work on your acting skills. B, get an agent. C, don't limit yourself to anime, because limiting yourself to anime is being like, I want to be an actor, but I only want to work in this one field. So, I want to be in food, but I only want to make cherry pie, Like, do you want to be a voice actor so that you can work on the craft, or do you want to be a voice actor purely in anime and in cherry pie? But saying, like, I want to be an anime voice actor is like, I only want to make cherry pies, and that's it. Like, even people that just make cherry pies make blueberry turnovers. And apparently something in Boston called a lobster tail. Apparently it's fantastic. I haven't had one yet, but it's like pastry with cream and powdered sugar. It's like a diabetic coma waiting to happen. I like that. Does that answer your question well enough? Awesome. If y'all didn't hear her, she just said that she has been doing a little acting, and then she's been doing some stand-up stuff to get acting experience, which is a great way to do it. Like, working with your school, working with your local community theater, working with things like that. Purple shirt, I'm going to get some water. Are you okay with that? What's your name, Purple shirt? Hi, Chris Perry. I'm Trina Nishimura. Pleasure to meet you. So, question? You already asked the question. Don't be greedy. Did you already ask? You made a comment, though. I'm going to come back. You asked a question, too. No, I appreciate all the questions, but everybody should play.
How much time often, how much time do you usually spend inside a recording box when working?
Okay, so whenever you have a character, right, you get a show. Well, you go in and you audition. And then you may or may not get the part, but you cross your fingers that you get it. And then you go into a booth, and depending upon how many lines that character has during that contract, a contract is like, let's say you have a series, right? Like El Cazador de la Bruja, okay? Thank you. El Cazador de la Bruja. So there's like 20-something episodes. And so that means that there are going to be basically 2 contracts, maybe 3, depending on how many lines are said. Like, some anime, there's like long pauses of music and stuff. Like, they're going to be less lines, so that means the contract will be shorter. So, in El Cazador de la Bruja, I was lucky enough, by the grace of Chris Bevins and God, to land the role of Nadia, the sassy redheaded bounty hunter. Suck it, Jamie Markey. I can be a sassy redhead too. Inside joke. But Nadia had 1/3 of the lines in the entire series. So, because the other lead, Alice, this little tiny witch girl, was very quiet, especially at the beginning, because she was learning how to be human and all this other stuff. You should watch the series; it's amazing. But for that one, I was literally on,